We are in the Orchos Chaim of the Rosh, and we are up to Siman or Os Kuf Chav Gvav, which is almost the end of the weekdays, and then afterwards we have Yom HaShabbos. But Kuf Chav Vav, Al Daber Im Hulo Umishuga, do not speak with somebody who is evidently mulo, overly praised. In other words, too arrogant and self-confident. Umishuga, or too crazed. Shekabel v'recha v'yivazel, someone who won't accept your words and will degrade them. So there are two conditions under which one does not give musar, even seems to talk, not just to give musar, but to just have a conversation. Person who is too lofty or too crazy to be macabre what you have to say, and then eventually it's going to be thrown back in your face and degraded, and then it's going to be counterproductive. Kuf Chav, there does not seem to be a Kuf Chav Zayin here. It goes straight from Kuf Chav Vav to Kuf Chav Ches. I don't know if there is no, perhaps there is no Kuf Chav Zayin in the Orchos Chaim the Rosh. Let's see check another copy. In the Sfaria edition of the Orchos Chaim Rosh, there is a Kuf Chav Zayin, but the osios here are in a different order. But Kuf Chav Zayin does not appear to be duplicated here in our version of the Orchos Chaim, so we'll do it here. Al tadaber below ito uvedav shem moso eles ushmar pischei picha. Do not speak when it's not the right time or something which will not have an advantage, and be careful with the words of your mouth. So, literally the opening of your mouth. So it's the two things, actually, three things there. Don't speak if it's not the right time. In other words, there are certain things which are supposed to be said at certain times, and they'll be helpful, and other times they'll be harmful. So don't speak something that's not the right season for that thing. Also, there are things which have no advantage. They might have no advantage at any time. Not just a specific time, they might never have advantage. So therefore, things have a specific time when they're advantageous and not. And there are other things which are never advantageous. Don't speak them. And it's probably falls in the category of Dibarta Bumvelo with Marim Batalim. You should speak words of Torah, not idle chatter. And then he says Shmor Pischei Picha, where there's a different language. In other words, before he said Al Tadaber, now it says Shmor Pischei Picha. In other words, don't even open your mouth, right? Just keep your mouth closed. This is a very difficult avodah, because most of us, especially, we're uncomfortable if we start talking. And we talk. But Shmor Pischei Picha, literally, watch that your mouth doesn't open up unless necessary, unless it's advantageous, unless it's the right time, right place, or something of benefit. So Al Tadaber means do not consciously speak, and Shmor Pischei Picha, just make sure to keep your mouth closed. And this is a sound advice, because if you put they say, a machsom leficha, a barrier in front of your mouth, then you're less likely to say things which are in an appropriate time or not have any advantage whatsoever. Kuf Chav Ches, Alti Kafui Toiva. Do not be an ingrate. Literally, Kafui Tova means to deny something good which somebody else did to you. And it's kind of like a kofer tova, somebody who denies it. And gratitude, of course, is the entire base of the world. The cognition of chesed one to another, and certainly the cognition of chasedim of Hakadosh Baruch Hu was the basis. The basis, of course, didn't go much better than higher than that, but the basis of our avodah is Hashem. So therefore, never be kafui toiva. Never deny the kindness or goodness which somebody else has manifested towards you. And give honor to anybody open to you an opening. Not that they actually did something for you. They opened up an opening. They introduced you to someone, or they gave you an eitzah, or they gave you a lead to help you find not just something which is above and beyond, but even even your basic needs. Be thankful to people who have done anything in any way, shape, or form in order to meet whatever needs you have, let alone make you richer or more powerful in some way, shape, or form. So again, it's kabed, give honor. A human being is a Tzelem Elokim, and he deserves honor in of himself or herself because it's Tzelem Elokim. But certainly, you should be mechabed, somebody who opened up an opening for you, and the opening, in fact, is pragmatic, will get expanded if you actually give cover to that person. But that's not the reason to do it. The reason to do it is, by definition, anybody who does something for me, I should be mechabed, because kavod is a sign of reciprocity, a sign of gratitude in and of itself. Kuf chav tes, al tosim picha davar sheker v'chazav, v'heyeh neman l'chol adam b'afil nachri. Do not express from your mouth anything which is either a lie or a falsehood. A lie meaning outright lie. Chazav means something which is deceitful, even if it's an outright lie. And you should be trustworthy to every person, even to a non-Jew, as a fundamental statement in Pirkei Avos. Having done as kol ha'adam l'kafschus, and as kol ha'adam, according to many mefarshim, although not all mefarshim, not according to, it seems not according to Rabbeinu Yochanan the Sefer Yira, but according to many mefarshim, kol ha'adam means even a non-Jew, when you have to be down, even a non-Jew l'kafschus. And so then it says, having a kabbalas kol ha'adam is sefer upon him yafos, and lolam yeh adam makdim sholom kol adam ashuk. That all these things, when it says kol adam, have a favor upon him office to greet people with a nice countenance, and to say shalom first to somebody in the marketplace. All these things mean not l'chol adam, not just Jews, but to any person. And what he's saying is that you should be trustworthy to every person. And of course, the Isser Gnevas Das applies by any person. You're not allowed to be treacherous or deceitful even to a non-Jew. It's not a question of your brethren, like but it's a question of your midos. And when it comes to your midos, it's irrelevant whether the person is somebody who is a tzaddik or a rasha, a good or bad, Yisrael or Nachri. Everybody, for your midos, you have to do everything which is appropriate for being the Baal Midos across the board, and never to be hypocritical. And therefore, all good Midos should be extended across the board, including not to say Sheker v'chazav. And that could be even an Isser, but to be Nam and call Adam, to be trustworthy of everybody, that is certainly a Midah. And that Midah applies to everybody. And that's what he says. The next one, Al titatzel lagdim shalom chodam afil nachri mnei darkei shalom. You should not be lazy to say shalom first to any person, even to a non-Jew, like we just said, and that's darkei shalom. And Rabban Lichtenstein, I believe, has this fascinating insight that darkei shalom very often we take to mean expedient darkei shalom. In other words, it's good to do in order to keep the peace, but it's not intrinsic. But Rabban Lichtenstein makes the point, we say darkei noam chonasi v'aseh shalom. The idea of Torah is darkei shalom. It's not expedient to keep the peace. It is intrinsically about peace. And therefore, darkei shalom doesn't mean just in order to make sure that we don't get the fights. It means that this is the derech of Torah. The same, and darkei shalom is to take the beginning of the statement and the end of the statement and put them together. This is all intrinsic. It's something which is the very character of Torah, not extrinsic. It's something we do because it's going to make things more expedient or easier for us. Okay, and it says the reason why a person doesn't say shalom first is not because of embarrassment. That's why I would think I don't say shalom. No, it's because of atzlus, because of laziness. Because not to take that risk of being nice is a form of laziness. And the word atzel and the word atzil are connected. Atzel is lazy, atzil is noble. But a person who holds himself to be noble is really holding himself to be lazy. Because as the idea of nobility, that stuck-upness is an idea of laziness, to not stoop to actual, considered menial or low, in the eyes of other people. Kuf lamed alf. Al lamod kim etzel chacham. You have to stand somewhere. Make sure you stand by a chacham, because there's many advantages. First of all, you're probably not going to get into a bad conversation. Secondly, you might actually get into a good conversation and learn. And that's why ushma v'azin devarav. Hear and listen to what he says. Hear is, it should be something which you're aware of. Listen means analyze it in your mind. And when you hear and listen, analyze in your mind, then that is going to obviously add chachma. And that you're not going to get unless you're ragil l'amaretz chacham, and that's what a person should seek to do. Always be associated with people who are chachamim, and you can learn from them, and you should listen to whatever they're saying in order to learn from them. Solik anhoga asher tiken Rav Rabbeinu Asher Zatzal, according to the Orchos, according to the version which we have in front of us, the Orchos Chaim. This is the end of the Rosh's Orchos Chaim. I don't know according to this who wrote Yom HaShabbos, but we will continue Mirz Hashem with the Yom HaShabbos next time. It's a new count starting from Aleph again. Actually, before Aleph starts from a preamble. Again, we'll get to Mirz Hashem the next time we learn.